Hello everyone, this is Theme Park Central and today I'm at Volcano Bay. It's early in the morning, the park hasn't opened. So first time at Volcano Bay, I'm going to try it out. It is more expensive than the Disney water park, but also has more rides. So I'm going to see how it is. It looks really beautifully themed. We'll see if that continues throughout the park. So I'll give you a review at the end of the video. So as soon as you enter Volcano Bay, they give you your tapu tapu. It is tough to put on. I will say that. I had a tough time doing it by myself, so you're gonna you may need someone else to help you with it. It's not like putting an Apple Watch on or something like that. But as soon as you enter the park, you see the big volcano Krakatoa. It's really big. I don't know how to measure it, but it's probably pretty similar to like the castle at Magic Kingdom. And you see that clear tube going right down. It looks like it may be some mechanical thing because it's so steep, but that actually is the Ko'okiwi plunge. That's how steep their scariest attraction is. So, yeah, definitely a look for the thrills when you walk in. And so, yeah, I rope dropped at Volcano Bay and did have to wait about 30 minutes to go in. From there, they kind of let you walk in and then rope you off, and you have to wait there for a little while. So then once they let me go away from the rope and just go throughout the park, I went to the back lockers. They're the River Village lockers. You can find them in the back of the park near Ika Moana, Honu, and the Lazy River, that kind of area. And these ones, they didn't seem too crowded. It was pretty easy to get a locker. I think there's 3 lockers in the park. There's the one when you you come in on your right side of the park, and there's gonna be one right there. That's like the village lockers or something like that. Those are gonna be the most crowded. These lockers in the back of the park aren't gonna be very crowded. And then there's the rainforest lockers on the left side of the park. Those aren't gonna be very crowded either. So lockers weren't a big problem. I believe you do have to pay for them, but I don't think they costed much, and really you're only gonna put your phone and stuff like that, phone wallet in there, because usually you put your bag and your swim gear down somewhere else. Where I sat to put all that stuff, it's in the little beach area by Honu Ika Moana. That's a decent area. I didn't like it the most. It wasn't the most secluded you could get, but it wasn't like the main beach. It wasn't that crowded either. So I think that's a decent place to put your stuff down. So here is a look at the map of the park, and you can see you walk in with the Wave Village. You have all the chairs on the Waturi Beach. You have the volcano, and then you have Rainforest Village in the left side of the park, River Village in the right side of the park. You can see that first black circle, the one towards the bottom of the screen, right by the blue slide. That is where I set up my gear, and then I put the wallets and phones, that kind of stuff. I put that right in the River Village lockers at the very back of the park. So that's a look at the park. I would say it's a pretty big park. Not theme park size, but definitely big for a water park. So after I put all my stuff down, I was ready for the first ride of the day, and that's where the Tapu Tapu comes in. So, if there's going to be some signs throughout the park that say, the wait times, and there's going to be, of course, right next to the attraction, it's going to say the wait time. It's much more sophisticated than any other water park. It's much more like a theme park. So the only rides that you can go on anytime are the ones that say ride now or enjoy anytime next to them. So the ride nows, those are the ones you can just hop in line. It's going to be a 15, no more than a 30-minute wait. I would be surprised if it's that much. Sometimes you would have a longer wait, but yeah, usually the goal isn't to eliminate lines entirely. It's just to kind of make everything so you can enjoy yourself more and relax, and you don't have to wait in line. So you can be in the lazy river instead of waiting in line. So, yeah, if it has like a 15 minutes next to it, that does not mean that it's a 15-minute wait in line. It means that you scan it, you wait 15 minutes virtually, then it says you go to the ride, wait a little more, and then you're on the ride. So that's how it works if you would have a number. And then the enjoy anytime, those are basically the rivers, the beach, all the swimming stuff like that, the kids areas, all that kind of stuff. And one problem with the Tapu Tapus that I did find out is that I was traveling as a group, and your group, like, we could all scan in at the same time, 30 minutes for this ride, but I might be ready to go, someone else might be on 15 minutes left, and someone else might be on 5 minutes left, someone else might be on 25 minutes left, it could be all over the place. Usually, they let you go pretty easy with that, they just take the fastest time, which is how it should work. Just one time during the trip, someone was a little iffy about it, but overall I finished, I was able to get into that attraction. So the first ride I went on was the dark blue of Taniwa tubes, Rocky and Tonga. One's the blue and one's the green. It doesn't really matter. The names are kind of confusing. So I went on the dark blue one first, and that was actually very intense. I did not expect it. This is just a little tube slide, 1 or 2 people, whatever you like. And it was quite intense, and yeah, a really good start. I rode 3 of the 4 slides here, because this one, it can be a ride now pretty often, so when you're in line for other stuff, you can come back and do this. So I got to go on 3 of them. The dark blue one was definitely my favorite, but these look like just your classic slide, but they're a little better than that for sure. And yeah, they have some nice theming with the tiki guides at the bottom. That's pretty funny. And one of my favorite things they did with the theming is they have the roofs at the top, so that's really cool. And they also have tikis that have either red or green eyes when they tell you when to go. So overall theming, it's pretty good. I'll talk more about it in the future, but Taniwa Tubes is a great slide. Might be underrated, but it just shows you that I won't say this is one of the worst slides of the park, but it's like mid-tier, and it's still very good. So that said something about Volcano Bay. So the ride next up is the Maku Puihi, and that is the green and orange slides. I went on the green one first and the orange one right after. They were both riding out. This was early in the morning, so that was very nice. Um, I think Puihi's the green one. I'm not too sure though, it doesn't really matter. But I went on the green one first, and I have to say that it's a really fun slide. And it's kind of like the blue one on the other side of the park. Whole new, you turn around. It's just like the theming's good, just like Taniwa tubes. You hop on, you turn around in the tube, and then you go straight down into this little funnel, and it's a pretty big drop, and then you kind of rock back and forth. It's one of those slides that you think you need a seatbelt for. And another thing about these raft rides, they have very good seating. So most water parks for these family raft rides, they just have a circle. But this one, it's like individual seats cut out, as you can see in the picture. So that is very nice. So you go through two of those funnel things and then come down. This wasn't a long slide, but I wasn't short either. So yeah, overall slide length, it's pretty good at the park. Yeah, and as far as how many people go on these, I don't think you could get on with one person, but I think anything over 2 people you could get on, so you don't need to fill the raft, which I thought was nice. I know that would make the line shorter, but it's nice to have your raft to yourself. And then the orange one wasn't quite as good, but it's still pretty cool. You kind of had these turns in an open section, so that's pretty good, nice. This one might have been a little bit longer, but overall, 2 great slides in Maku Puihi. So, Punga Racers was the next ride that I went on, and I forgot to mention, I already had a virtual queue for Krakatoa, the aqua coaster. I got that right away. It's a long wait, like 150 minutes, but I just went for it because I know that's one of the longest virtual lines throughout the day. But I was able to get on Punga Racers, which is 4 body slides. It's a pretty nice one, pretty good length, and yeah, I like this one. The idea is that you kind of you're supposed to race next to the other people. And yeah, I went on the black slide. This is just a nice little body slide. Pretty normal for the slide. I wouldn't say it's that fast. Some people may think it's like a race, so it's fast, but it's not the fastest body slide I've been on. And we'll get to that later in the video. So, yeah, Punga Racers was a lot of fun, and so then after that, there was no more riding outs in the park. So I said like 50 minutes left for the Krakatoa waiting time, so I decided to brave Teawa, the fearless river. So no tubes allowed in here. So if anybody likes to swim in the lazy river, this is your dream right here. To go on Teawa, the fearless river. You have to wear a life vest, and you think, oh, that might be a little cautious or overkill, but it really allowed you to enjoy the experience a little more, allowed you to go faster, because this is a very fast river. This is by no means a lazy river. It's about the size of the lazy river in the park, but it goes really fast. I would say it goes like maybe close to 10 miles per hour on average. I don't know how to guesstimate the speed, but then you kind of go around Krakatoa, Taniwa tubes, and then you go into the volcano in a wide cave section where you go really fast in that section. 15, you are zooming in that section, and then after that, there's a wave machine some big waves, like I'm talking in this river, you're gonna have the wave machine doesn't go off like every time, it goes off every 2 laps or something like that, but these waves are almost wave pool quality, so that was pretty cool. And then after that, there's a bubbly section, and then that kind of concludes the Fearless River, and you can of course go around as many times as you want. There's no wait time for this, so this was definitely one of my favorite things to do in the park. I went on this 5 laps, more than 5 laps probably, maybe even close to 10 laps. That's how much I liked it, and it's great to waste away some of the time. And if you actually, most people just float, but if you have to actually swim, you're going so fast, it's pretty crazy. So then after that, I got some food at Wakawan. Why Eats? All the names are so confusing, but this one is kind of by the river lockers, and they serve pizzas, mac and cheese, and stuff like that. So I got pizza. It's around $16. That's 4 slices. I think it did serve 2 people, so it's not a bad deal. But I also did get a Coke Freestyle cup, and they have a very confusing deal system with that. It's too hard to explain, so I just got a refillable cup for $20, and you get to refill pretty much anytime you want throughout the day at those Coke Freestyle machines, and you can also get an icy. So that might be a pretty good deal if you are going to drink a lot of sodas and stuff like that throughout the day. I think I got my money worth with that. So that was pretty good, and you get to keep the cup. So yeah, overall some good food at Wakawawai Eats. I can't pronounce it, but yeah, after that I was ready to go on Krakatoa. So next up, I went on Krakatoa. It's time for my my virtual queue. It's about a 15 to 20 minute wait to get on, and I did notice something. They have a little like square that they have you step on. You think it may just be for whatever organization, but it's actually a scale, so that was pretty cool. And that can just make sure your group is the right weight. And so this is the closest they have to a theme park attraction here. It just keeps moving, so it doesn't stop. Um, so that's pretty cool. And yeah, it's this canoe type raft that you go on. Fits 4 people, I believe, and it goes to the other side, and then it comes into the station on the conveyor belt. So it's really cool that it ends in a station. It doesn't end in the pool. So that was really quite interesting. I had been on another water coaster, Crushing Gusher at Typhoon Lagoon, and that one is much shorter. There's 3 different slides for that one, and it ends in a just a pool. So that was quite different, and this one had some nice drops. You really get some nice drops on this one. The last one is the biggest. It's a very long ride. It has some outdoor sections and some indoor sections, and you really feel the magnetic lift or whatever. It's taking you up. That's how you get back up, and it really goes fast on this one, more than a lot of other water coasters. So I think this could be argued as the best water coaster like in existence. Uh, but I don't know, there might be some other good ones out there. It's a nice length attraction. It really packs in a thrill. It's one of the more thrilling rides there. It's a family ride still, but it's really quite great. So then after that, I had no return times. So that's the only problem I have with this system. You can only get one at a time, which can kind of, I won't say it ruined my experience, but I was at the park for like 7 hours. So even though this is a water park, you're not going to go for a few hours and call it. So you're probably going to spend your whole day here. So I went over to Kala and Tai Nui, the serpentine slides, and I stand in there. It's about a 70-minute virtual wait, so I stand in, and then I went over through there. You kind of keep going up back towards, you kind of make a U coming around the left side of the park, go right past Kala and Tai Nui, then keep going into the volcano, where they have the Spirit of Vol, which is like it's an interactive attraction. They have this little tiki projection guy that's pretty funny, and they have the water fountains, all kinds of sparkly lights, some things you can do with your tapu tapu, and they also have a section, if you keep going, there's a lot of different paths you can take in there, but if you keep going one direction, there it's like faces that blow wind at you. It's nice if you want to dry off, although there's a lot of water fountains over there, so you have to be careful, but if you want to dry off, go there. And so yeah, overall that is a really cool place, and yeah, that's like the center of the park, and that's quite a few angles you can go back towards Krakatoa, towards Tai Nui, all kinds of places from there. So after that, it was time to go on Kala and Tai Nui, the drop slides. So I went on Tai Nui. That is the green slide, and I have to say it was a lot of fun. This was my first slide where the floor drops out underneath you. Call it a drop slide, whatever you want to call it. But it was really quite a fun experience. It's really scary. You have to climb a lot of steps to get up there. And the green slide is more intense, but I just went with it. And when you drop down, it's really fun because you have a zero gravity feeling. You're just kind of floating in the air. It is a pretty big drop, I have to say. It's like 25 to 30 feet, probably about the same size as the biggest drop on Krakatoa. But it was a lot of fun. And then after that drop, I was expecting myself to hit the tube, like, with some force, but you don't, luckily. Well, I was relaxed, so you kind of just have to relax yourself when you're standing there, and then you just go for it, because you can't do anything at that point. And yeah, it was a crazy ride. There was a lot of tight turns, and you couldn't see much at times because so much water on your face. It wasn't like you were drowning, though. Some people say that, but I was definitely not drowning. And then at the end, green has a larger drop. Not a big steep drop, but a drop that kind of takes you in. And this one that's not in a pool, it just ends in like a slow down. So the slow down splashdown. So yeah, they changed it from a pool because it's a little safer now. You're not gonna hit yourself on the pool. So don't worry about having to swim at the end because you probably won't want to. It's tough to stand up from this one since you just got thrown around so much. It's pretty short, about 15 seconds, and but it feels long because it just feels long, which is nice. Well, nice if you like it. If you don't, sorry, it's gonna be a rough 15 seconds, but it feels like you just teleported from up here all the way at the top of the volcano, just down to the bottom. I can't imagine what Kookiri feels like when you go from the top straight down to the bottom, no turns or anything. But yeah, this was a really fun slide, my favorite of the park. It's just so amazing and yeah, very exhilarating. I definitely would not do this one if you're not that, if you don't like that intensive stuff. Next up was Oh Yeah of the Oh No and Oh Yeah drop slide. So I went from drop slide to drop slide. I got a return time for Oh Yeah, which is the slightly shorter drop, 4 feet opposed to 6 feet. And it's not a drop straight down like Tainui, it's just at the end you drop into the pool. The pool is very deep, 10 feet. And I do have to warn you, I'm a fine swimmer and all that stuff, so I just swam over, but it doesn't really get shallow or closer to the stairs. So I was looking to put my foot down kind of close to the stairs, but you have to swim all the way to the staircase. So yeah, I was fine, and yeah, I quickly corrected myself, but I am going to give that its warning, and if you can't swim, I wouldn't go on this one. So anyway, you got a return time for Oh Yeah, because it was a shorter time than Oh No, and it was about 60 minutes. And then I went on all of the other stuff that I mentioned before, Taniwa Tubes, the Fearless River. While I waited for that, then it came up and it was starting to storm, so that got a little scary, but I was able to get on it, and it's a pretty nice slide. It's not very long. It's really like the anticipation of the end. You have the green, and then you come out the end. My biggest complaint with this one is it's too slow. You kind of just ease yourself over the edge. So I would have preferred a little faster of a slide. As far as the length goes between this one, I think the purple one is slightly longer, but not by much. It's just slightly longer and slightly higher. And the purple one, it's a 6-foot drop. That is Oh No. And Oh Yeah, it's a 4-foot drop. So yeah, this was a pretty nice slide. Interesting concept. And after that, it was kind of stormy, so I was ready to get some food and some more food. I hadn't quite had enough earlier. So I went to the Feasting Frog stand. That is kind of by Makupuihi. It's right next to one of the boat bars they have that has a blue sail, and the other one on the other side of the park has a red sail, so that's pretty cool. And yeah, this is a really cute stand because it has like a frog in the building, so that was pretty cool. And I got some carne asada tacos, which were pretty good. I actually ate those at the bamboo jungle kitchen. It's kind of by the rainforest lockers. That's a nice place to eat. They have a good amount of tables there because it can be hard to find tables under a cover of some sort. So that is where I kind of just waited it out for about an hour, waited it out for the rain. At that point, I had already made a return time for Honu of Honu Ika Moana, that it's the blue slide, and I had like 50 minutes left on that one. Now, don't tell anybody at Universal this, but my Tapu Tapu, it skipped the rain delay. So there was a rain delay, everything shut down, and it's like a 90-minute return time for Honu. And mine skipped it. My group there, Tapu Tapu, they did not skip it. So that was maybe why on this on Honu I couldn't get in it easily, but I was able to use that quicker time. So that was pretty nice. As it was starting to get late at that time. It's about 4 o'clock, maybe 3:30 at this time. Then they lifted the weather delay, so that's very nice. And I do have to warn you, even though I said that the Taniwa tubes it's often a ride now, it's not always a ride now. So don't expect that one to just be like an enjoy anytime. So yeah, then I went to the Kopiko Y Lazy River, Winding River, and yeah, it's about the same length as the Fearless River, and it has a cave section as well. It's a bit shorter than your usual like Disney water park lazy river, but it's very nice and great theming and all that kind of stuff. It was close to Honu, the ride that I was about to go on, so I enjoyed that for 2 or 3 laps, and then I was ready to go on Honu, the last ride of the day. Honu had a very long wait time, even though I'd already done the virtual queue. I was waiting in that line for quite a while, and that's where I kind of realized the inline theming isn't the best. So they have the canopy at the top, which is nice, but especially on this attraction, you can see right out into I-4 and all that stuff. I think I-4's on the other side, but you can still see out into that kind of stuff. You can see in the background of this picture. And I waited for a long time there, 30 to 40 minutes, which is too long for the virtual queues. But that's the only like real problem I had. So I did wish they had put a little more effort into theming the like stairs and stuff like that. I know that's a difficult thing to do, but they could have maybe added some walls and some designs on those walls if they really wanted to get up with Disney. I think the theming's really good near the volcano, but as you go away towards the very fringes of the park, it suffers a little bit, but overall it's very good, but not quite as good as Disney, even though this is a water theme park. Uh, so yeah, Honu was great. So you turn around, you do a big drop, even bigger than the one on the green slide of Makupuihi, and you go right into that big turn all the way up, then you go all the way down to the same thing, and then you turn around and just finish your time off in the blue tube. Now you can see its sister slide, the green one. It's Ika Moana. That I did not go on, but I do have to say I'm not glad I didn't go on it, but it doesn't look like much. It's just kind of a family slide, and you just go through the tube with some open sections. It doesn't really have anything going for it. So I wish they had maybe done something a little cooler there. Maybe instead of having the open sections, they could have done like a rainbow light section or something like that. I think that would have worked better, but I didn't get to go on that one. So yeah, as far as my favorite slides, I would say Tai Nui is the first. The second is Krakatoa Aqua Coaster, and then this one is the third. I was not able to go on Ko'okiri, the plunge. That one usually has a really long return time, and I just didn't have the time for it. Before I went on Tai Nui, I wouldn't have gone on that, but since I loved that other drop slide so much, I definitely would go on that next time. So yeah, if you know you like those drop slides, I would definitely go on Ko'okiri right away, because that would be the experience of a lifetime. And I would say that, yeah, this is one of the best water parks around, period. Definitely top something in the US, probably the best in the United States, one of the best in the world, like top five. So a really good park. And I know I said that the theming isn't as good as Disney's park, but this is way more rides. The rides are way more unique than Disney's parks. And I really did wish Disney would put the same kind of effort into their parks with the Tapu Tapu and all that kind of stuff, adapt a system like that, because they don't have all the I-4 in the background, which does kind of ruin the sightlines a little bit, so they could do something really cool at Disney, but who knows, at Disney, the inventiveness just has not been there recently. So yeah, this was an awesome park. I had a really great time. That is going to do it for this video. If you're going to Orlando for a vacation, I definitely recommend doing Volcano Bay, right up there with the uh, the theme parks. And I have a hot take here, and this is that Volcano Bay, it's better than the Universal theme parks. The Universal theme parks, the theme is not that cohesive throughout the park as it is here, and it's just the virtual queue system, so I think it really works great. Now, I do wish they had the annual pass for this. You have to get the full annual pass, so I hope they change that at some point, because I'm sure they have a lot of Volcano Bay fans like me. So yeah, it's a great time at Volcano Bay. Please make sure to subscribe and like. I will have some more vlogs coming out soon from a year ago. And this is Theme Park Central. Bye.